you're sure in a hurt. You think you can treat me like dirt and then get away with it, honey. Well, you got another thing coming now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the People Show, the VAdio Show, and we're back with the episode called Addiction. And I'm here with, I'd like to call you, the legendary BC Joyce. And I say that because, you know, your name rings bells in the streets for the things that you do in the community. And to me, that's legendary. You've been around, you've been doing it for a while. So I can toot your horn all day, but let the people know who you are and what you do.
Well, basically, Trevor, Byron Joyce. I'm a former drug addict and alcoholic. Presently, I'm working with young people in a recreation center where we're primarily youth development specialists, helping young people who come from backgrounds where their mothers and father on drugs, or they have no leadership, no guidance in their lives, and we get involved as far as like a mentor goes. And now those kids are world changers, man. They're graduating with master's degrees and bachelor's degrees. They're playing basketball all over the country. These are some of the things that we do. Not only that, I'm involved in a drug ministry, helping people to recognize addiction and also getting them to a place where they can be free from addiction. Being that I've been an addict myself, is easier to tell people about something that you have experienced more than rather use something that you've heard about. Not only that, man, God has blessed me where I'm writing plays today. I have 3 different plays that we've been doing, and we've been averaging about 500 people per night with the plays. I have a book out there, Half Dead Means You're Still Half Alive, and that's another self-help book telling people about my story through my addiction and all of the different aspects and all the different things that I've learned through my addiction. Because being clean and sober, man, is a learned behavior. You have to learn how to be clean and sober. It won't be no hocus pocus, you know, somebody come down with some great power from the sky. It's going to take some work, and you're going to have your mind renewed.
You had mentioned that you wouldn't want to hear anything from someone who hasn't been through it, and there's no testimony without the test, and you've definitely been through the test, and you made it through. I would like the people to hear a little bit about your journey, like what got you into drugs, and how was it, and how did you get out?
You know, when I was a young man, I thought I was one of the smartest people in the world. My deal was that I thought that if you cut me and cut you at the same time, I would heal faster than you would. I thought that I was God's gift to the earth. I thought that I had it all figured out, and I did. I had a great plan for to destroy myself, you know. And I had the opportunity. One of my guys came down from New York, box full of vanilla wafers. Come to find out, it was cocaine in the box. We got the opportunity, man, to destroy a neighborhood, the Berkeley section of Norfolk, man. We turned it upside down. Before long, you know, I became my biggest customer. Instead of me selling most of the drugs, I was using more drugs than I was selling. Sold a great amount, you know. A whole lot of people got rich, but I got high, and I got royal high, man. I got so high, man, that I kind of forgot who I was, man. The police were chasing me. The bounty hunters was behind me. I wouldn't go back to court. I used to dress up with mini skirts and wigs on, man. I dressed up like Moses with the beard and the staff and the sheet. I dressed up with tree limbs. Dressed up like
hiding out, or
man. See what happened was the first deal was the bounty hunters. They arrested me. Okay, I got arrested by the police officers, and got out on bond. Got out on bond, and I never went back to court.
Got you.
So the bounty hunters come in to get me.
Got
and
you.
the first time they got me, okay, but they knew. I figured they knew what I looked like.
Right.
But I didn't know what they looked like.
Right.
So that's how they snuck up on me.
I got you.
So the next time,
I
was going to turn the table. Exactly. I'm going to look like Moses. I'm going to look like a shipyard worker. Man, I'm going to look like a hooker.
Right.
I'm going to look like a guy with a turban on, like I came from overseas.
Right.
Yeah, I had a whole lot of different outfits.
Funny.
And you know what? And it kept me safe from the bounty hunters for a long time, man. The only person that recognized me was the same officer that had arrested me originally.
Gotcha.
He came, maybe about a year or so. I haven't run the street over a year, man.
Right.
Out on bond, and they couldn't find me. And he found he seen me with a wig on, but he said, I know this guy, man. And this guy has never been to court, because he knew I'd never been to court. Why? Because he knew he had to go to court with me, and he never went to court.
I went to court with
him. I went to court with this guy. Yeah, so why he hasn't been to court? So he caught me. What's so funny though, I got the wig on. I run into this lady's house. I stay in the lady's house. I tell her, don't open the door. You don't have to open the door. She's like, I'm gonna open this door. So I run. I go dive in the bed. I take all of my clothes off, man. Take the wig off, everything. I'm in the bed, butt naked, bro. And the police come in, and they come to the back, and they, man, get up out that bed. I get up out the bed. I'm stark naked. They said, man, if you don't put some clothes on, so man,
right.
But who thinks of this stuff, man?
So you were high at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
I had two crack rocks stuck in the cavities in my tooth. You know what I'm saying? That's man, I got high 24 hours a day, 4 and 5 days straight, in and out of jail. I stayed high. I got high like 15 hours straight, man, without sleep. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I know I would go like 4 or 5 days without sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, then I would sleep for like 15 hours.
And then go back to it
and go right back to it again, man. Just go.
So the drugs, for real, you're not even controlling yourself no more.
Oh, man, I was gone.
Yeah.
I was gone and didn't know, man. I used to cry. I used to walk the street and cry. I'd be like, if there's a drug that I can take, man, to reverse this process, man, I would take it.
Yeah.
I was done, bro.
Because some people think that they can just dabble. You know, I'm at a party, somebody just pull out, want to get their nose dirty real quick. They feel like I can just play around and have some fun, right?
Yeah, well, God bless them. I have, in my history of seeing people use drugs and alcohol, I have seen no one that is in control of that situation.
Wow.
You know, there's a scripture that says that wine is a mocker, strong drink is raging. Whomsoever is deceived by this is not wise. Deceived, tricked by strong drink, by drugs, by alcohol. They're tricked.
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend $10 and I'm gonna stop. And now the income tax check is gone. You know what I'm saying? I'm going and I'm gonna buy my baby this PlayStation for Christmas.
You end up snorting that PlayStation.
Oh, you going back and get that PlayStation from under that tree, bro.
Oh, got you.
You know what I'm saying? So what I'm trying to tell you is that I have not, in my history, found anyone that was in control in a drug situation if they were using.
So how did you break free?
Series of events.
Okay.
I loved getting high. I loved getting high. Matter of fact, if I could get high tonight and there are no consequences, I get high today.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But the real deal is, now that I know, see what I'm saying? I have learned that there are consequences of my actions. Kept going to jail, kept having to run from the police. And then one day, man, I'm in jail. And this guy is serving my favorite breakfast. Okay. Frosted Flakes and bananas. cold milk.
Awesome.
You got it.
When you're in jail, that is awesome.
Bruh, gotta have it, right? Gotta have it.
Right.
So the brothers serving, you know, they serve it through the bars because we couldn't go down to the mess hall anymore because of the foolishness. And he serving me my bananas and milk and my Frosted Flakes. And, you know, in jail, they serve you dinner at about 6:30.
Yeah.
So that means that after that, there's no more food.
Right, you're done.
So I'm like, yo, bro, let me get a couple more of those bananas, you know, so I can have them later.
Me through the night.
He told me, man, I'm not giving you nothing. I say, man, they ain't your bananas.
Right.
I said, man, let me get a couple of them bananas, man, so I can make through the night. You know how this go?
Right.
He told me, I'm not gonna give you nothing. At that time, I thought I was bad, man.
Right.
And I'm saying, man, if I could get, he don't you know who I am?
Right.
I said, man, if I can get my hands on this dude, I'll break his neck.
Right.
And I checked myself. Here I am talking about murdering a man behind a banana. And then I had to look at it deeper and say, me with all this potential, all this greatness, the guy that thought he could heal faster than anybody else on earth is begging for bananas through the bars like a monkey. And I said, you know what, man? The anger had overtaken me so bad. What I wanted to do to this man is I checked myself and I said, you know, I ain't never coming back to this place no more. Little voice came, said, listen, if you continue to do what you do, you coming back. And I made another self-declaration. I said, well, I'm gonna stop doing what I'm doing. And just so happened, I got a chance to go to, my mom wouldn't come and bail me out, okay? Cause all the stuff, and the bail bondsman had gotten hip to me on this last trip. They was like, look, we're not gonna bond you out unless your mother come and get you. So I sent my mom the money and my mom wouldn't come and get me. She says, listen, man, all the stories I'm hearing about you, people busting you in the head with guns and shooting at you and all that stuff, I'd rather you be where you are. So mom didn't come and get me and she left me in there for a few days, but then they came up with this drug ministry at Bethany Baptist Church, man, which was an outpatient program. And she said, if you agree to go to the program, I'll come and get you. At that point, whatever she'd have said, I'd have done it. So I went to the program, man, and that's the same program that I teach on Saturday nights now. I teach that same program that saved my life.
God had definitely had a plan for you, brother.
Exactly.
Well, we're going to go to commercial break, and I want to hear a little bit more about that and what you're doing for people and a little advice for those people, all right?
Not a problem at all.
This is the VAdio Show. This is Addiction. Do not touch that dial.
Guess what, Hampton Roads? It's Bert Bergen, and I'm at it again. And today, we're at Holy Rollers Bakery, and we're with the owner, Brenda Harford. Brenda, welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Awesome, you're welcome. So, Brenda, Holy Rollers, where did the idea come from?
Well, we're a Christian-based bakery, and we really love the Lord and we love good food. So we followed my grandmother's recipe.
Grandma, huh?
Grandma, Annie Mae Langley, and just started making rolls, and people were loving them, and we started selling them.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So, from what I'm understanding, it's been 2 weeks. But where were you guys? Is this your first time in business, or did you guys have another location at one point?
Well, this now is our second location. We started selling at farmers markets in the Tidewater area, a few in Virginia Beach, Portsmouth, and Norfolk. And then we opened our bakery where we actually started baking and selling in Norfolk at 5 Points Community Farm Market. So now we're in Chesapeake. On Battlefield Boulevard in the Great Bridge section of Chesapeake, and we're just really happy to be here on 200 North Battlefield Boulevard.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Now, I think when we talked before we started the interview, you talked about that you have some commercial locations, or you actually, we can find your products maybe in a retail store setting.
Absolutely. Our biggest contract happens to be with the Spirit of Norfolk.
Wow.
And we sell a lot of bread to them, so if ever you're on the cruise ship, you'll be eating our bread. And we also serve to 219 American Bistro on Granby Street. And we have a few other churches and residential facilities that we also provide. Some large churches, Mount Lebanon in Chesapeake, and Mount Gilead, 7,000 plus members in Richmond, Virginia. Wow. So we do a lot of bread, and Holy Rollers, good bread.
Well, that's awesome. So what do your customers typically like to get when they come to see you?
Well, the number one are the rolls, and sometimes we put a little hot dog in them with a special secret sauce.
Right.
My husband calls them dog bites.
Right.
We also do them with ham, with mustard sauce and turkey, and
Okay.
we do a number of things with the roll.
Okay.
And you can't get out without tasting our sweet potato pie.
Sweet potato pie.
Another big hit.
Is that another one of Grandma's recipes?
That's actually my mother's
Your mother's,
recipe that
okay,
my
okay.
grandmother kind of started her off with.
Okay.
And the cinnamon buns rank up there with the rolls as well.
Wow, wow.
With the buttercream icing.
Awesome. So there you have it, Hampton Roads, another fine business. Holy Rollers Bakery. Check out the address below. I'm Bert Bergen. This is the Mind Your Business Show. Check out weareblackbiz.com. Thank you, and see you on the next one.
Number of
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the People Show, the VAdio Show, and we're still talking about addiction. Now, brother Joyce, there's a lot of people out here with music, media, and things like that. They make the drug life fun. Like, there was a time in the 80s when we was talking about say no to drugs. Then, in the 90s, then they started selling drugs. And now, in the songs and the media, they're doing drugs. This is fun. This is recreational. They're popping pills. They're doing all types of stuff. These are kids doing this. So what I ask from you is, you've been through it. You've seen it. You've seen plenty of people. If there was somebody that's right now doing this for fun, may have it on their mind, or may not think it's a big deal, what advice would you have for those people?
My advice would be, look around you. Mm-hmm. I stick with scripture, man. Mm-hmm. And I read somewhere where it says, when you know the truth makes you free.
Yes, sir.
It creates a whole new person in you when you know the truth. Mm-hmm. I can sit here and I can lie to you, and you have to imagine your way around this feeling. But when you know the truth makes you free. Look at the people that use drugs. Mm-hmm. Look at their situation. Mm-hmm. Look at the educational level. Mm-hmm. Look at the things that they have. Mm-hmm. And you'll see that it's not very glamorous. Mm-hmm. These people who say they're doing super well, look at athletes who have used drugs and alcohol and see how far they've come down. Yeah. So the real deal is, let's not deal with feelings, let's deal with facts. And when you're dealing with facts, when you look around, people using drugs are not that successful.
No.
You know, the odds, let's look at the odds. You say, okay, hey, this guy's doing, one guy did it and he did well, but there's 100,000 more that died trying to do it. You understand what I'm saying? So the deal is, I would tell them, man, let's look at the facts. Let's not fool ourselves. You know, one thing about it, you can be tricked by somebody else, but you can't trick you. You know the real deal, man. You know that it's costing you money. You know that it's costing you time. You know that you're not going to school now that you're smoking. You know now that you're hanging with some of the more people that you said that you wouldn't be around. There's no way in the world I would be around those people. So when you started checking the facts, man, and looking at your life, man, let's be real with yourself. And when you be real with yourself, man, you ought to get out of what you're into and try to find you some help.
You have to keep it real with yourself, and if you put a mirror to yourself, and I've talked to someone else who was an addict, and they said they saw themselves in the mirror. They just looked at themselves, and it hit them like just out the blue. They saw the real in where they was at that moment. You know what I mean? So once that finally hits you, then I hope it will change some minds.
The ticket is, man, if you keep right on hanging around people that's going nowhere, you'll never know the truth about what your destiny is.
You're right.
Because you'll always be headed to nowhere. It's easy to go nowhere. But the real deal is, man, when you're trying to progress and get to your destiny, you can't be under the influence. You gotta be sober-minded to be able to head to a place of destiny. And who wants to keep right on doing nothing? You know?
People opening businesses, people moving forward, they're buying things, families flourishing, but you're still sitting in the same place.
That's right.
Well, my next thing is I always want to make sure to find solutions. There was great advice, but I know you have a meeting that you do every Saturday, and you also have some things that you do for the children at the rec centers. Please let people know if they need your services, need your help, where they can find you.
I'm located at 900 Elm Avenue at the Neighborhood Facility Recreation Center, and that's my regular job. That's what I do.
In Portsmouth.
In Portsmouth.
Okay.
And if anybody need me personally, man, they can call me at 359-4845.
Awesome.
That's my number. 757 is the area code. We have a support group meeting at called Showers of Blessings.
Okay.
We have that on Saturday nights. I teach there on Saturday nights at 2587 Camp Stella Road.
Okay.
And then on Wednesday nights in Suffolk, Virginia at the 6th Street Baptist Church, Marvelous Light Ministry, we do the same thing in Suffolk. And that's on Wednesday nights at 8 o'clock. So,
Awesome.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
I really, really appreciate this mission that you're on, and it's not a lot of people who take the time to be able to pour into other people. You've been there and you're pulling other people out, and that is commendable, and I thank you.
God bless you, man.
Yes,
Thanks
sir.
for having me.
Someone once said, getting there is half the fun. From downtown to Old Town. Go Past 365 connects you to entertainment, restaurants, friends. Go Past 365. Find out more at gopast365.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the People Show, the VAdio Show. And of course, I like to name my episodes. This one in particular, I named it in a certain way because, you know, there's a lot of bad things going on. Life gets rough. Things get tough on us, job, family, stress. And a lot of us, you know, we fall into a situation where we feel like we have to get away from reality. And addiction happens. This episode is on addiction. And I'm with someone here today that can help me navigate through the process of how it gets started, how to stay away from it, what happens when you're going through it. Johnny Mayo, how are you, sir?
I'm doing fine, sir. It is good to see you once again.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, so it's been almost a year since the last time
It's
that we
been a
talked.
while, man.
And things have truly changed.
It's a blessing to hear that, brother, because when I talked to you, we did a dream catcher. You never actually did a full episode, right?
No, I did not.
But what happened, when we put the dream catcher out, it got such a big return. Like people was getting in touch with us and they were saying, talking about your story. I mean, I couldn't see any other way than to have you here to talk about it.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here, and I'm glad to be here.
People shun somebody, or they were outcast people and not know what got them there. So I want to ask you, what got you to a position to where you were addicted?
Well, for me, it started out more or less being in a line of work where the people that I hung around, where everybody was doing certain things and you want to try to fit in. So in this particular, and I'll tell everybody, I was in the car business for a long time, back in 92, 93, 94. And the thing that starts you out is you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't say this for people who don't make a lot of money, don't get addicted, but when you're in a position where everybody around you is making money and people are spending money on this thing, that thing, this thing, you tend to follow.
Okay.
Okay. And I followed. I was in a position where I was making money, and first came the cocaine, then the alcohol, and then that final step to crack cocaine, which at that particular time I thought I could control it.
Gotcha. Many feel that way.
Yeah, we all feel that way,
yeah.
and it is the most uncontrollable thing you'll ever come across in your life. There are other addictions like heroin and stuff like that, but this crack cocaine thing is uncontrollable. From the first time you start it until the day you make that change and insist and deceased with it, it gets out of control. I wind up losing pretty much everything that I own and falling into a life of being homeless.
Yeah.
Which we talked about in the first time we talked about the dream catcher situation.
Yeah.
I was homeless for about 2.5 years, lost everything I owned, wound up staying in a homeless shelter. And also there were other things that went on in my life. There were lots of deaths. I lost my wife.
Yeah.
I lost sister, other deaths that occurred in my family. And the more those things occurred, the deeper I fell into the addiction.
Gotcha.
Because I was trying to mask it. I was trying to overcome the hurt, overcome the pain, and thinking that this particular drugs were going to do that for me.
Gotcha.
Which they do not.
It didn't work out that way.
It don't work out that way.
Well, a lot of people, you know, like I mentioned earlier, some people do get into drugs due to disparity and, you know, things are going bad, you know, and you don't care. And you just need a getaway, if you will, you know. You get high, it takes you
somewhere else.
Yeah, and you forget all about, you know, the current situation of life as
until
then you come back.
Until the high wears off, and then you're right back where you were before you did what you did.
Matter of fact, things done piled up worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're actually, and it was a period of a couple of years for me that I got to the point where I didn't care. I was a functioning crack addict. Functioning. That means I went to work every day. I could get to the store and cash my check. That was as functioning as I wanted to be.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
As long as I cash my check.
As long as I cash my check. And but you know, and the reality of that is like, you know, I just started not taking care of bills. I really got to a point where I just did not care.
Gotcha.
And so all the other problems that I had, the deaths in the family, and dealing with the relationship aspect of being a crackhead, okay? Having people know that you're a crackhead. You
set
just,
your pride aside.
You do. You just give up and say, okay, you know, I'm a crackhead.
I'll be that. I'll be that.
I'm a crackhead.
Let me get that $20.
Yeah, you know.
Right.
Don't leave your wallet hanging out.
Right, because I will get that.
You know, and some of the despicable things that you do when you get to that point, you know. And as I look back on all of those things, I say to myself, gee, what a despicable person.
Yeah. And I'm sure no one ever comes up and thinks that they're going to be in that place. So my question, first of all, we see a lot. I'm sure before you started, you've seen crackheads. You've seen
laughed
addicts.
at them,
exactly.
joked with them, said, I'll never be one of those.
So what made you try? Because see, whenever I speak to you or anyone that's in a situation that others may be in, I want to try to get in their head and see things like they see it. What made you, knowing that, still try it?
Curiosity and the fact that I believe that would never happen to me.
That's a dangerous game.
That's
man.
a dangerous game. I'm better than that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let that happen to me. I'm not going to be Joe Crackhead on the corner. You know.
But it's just for fun, is what you think.
It's recreation. It's recreational. But you know, and at the same token, there are people who are prone to addictions. Okay, that's something you have to understand.
And you don't know until you.
And you don't know until you become addicted that you're prone to an addiction. It was the same thing with smoking cigarettes. I was prone to smoking cigarettes. I was prone to smoking weed. So all of these other things led into a life of getting to the next drug.
Yeah.
You know, people talk about, well, if I smoke weed, I'll never do this and I'll never do that.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that, because you never know where that one thing will take you, that moment that you say, I want to get a little higher than I am right now.
Yeah. Or you hang with somebody that laced they blunt or they joint with something.
And you get a taste, and you be like, wow, what is this? Oh my goodness. Why is my ears ringing like, why my bells just got rung?
Right.
So I don't even want to go back into that. You know what I'm saying? But
but I get you. Yeah, I get you. And the thing is, what people don't realize, you know, we laugh about it because we made it through it.
Right.
But the people are putting their life on pause. Not only on pause, some instances, people are putting their life on straight stop.
Some people are putting their life on death.
Yeah.
Because that's exactly where it leads. Yeah. Because I've seen people in my instances of getting high, I've known people who did heroin. This is the funny part about heroin, and I've never done it myself, but I've seen people shoot up, pass out, and die, and the guy says, "Hey, I want some of that."
Wow.
How crazy is that?
Wow.
Can I get what was in his needle?
Wow.
You know, like I said, I've never done it myself because the needle thing has always scared me. But I've watched people see someone shoot up, pass out, convulse, and then they say, "What's left in his needle?"
Wow.
The insanity. There's true insanity in the drug. There is true insanity in drugs.
You know what?
True insanity.
I'm gonna tell you, and we're gonna go to break. But I found out a little bit about the history of drugs. I was looking at some Peruvian, like in Peru, they would crush things and make these different drugs out of certain plants that we use now for, cocaine or whatever. And what they would use it for before was to take it and get in touch with certain spirits. Has that changed?
No, there's still evil spirits because you look at smoke. Smoke is a spirit because it materializes itself out of your lungs from something other than what's inside of you already. So it is a spirit. And people think that it takes you to a higher plane. God never intended for you to be on this plane with this stuff. So it's not something that's of God. And that's the thing that you learn after a while when you get back in touch with yourself. What God has in store for you didn't include all of this.
You are correct. He said, stay of a sober mind because Satan roams around like a lion, and seeking whom he may devour.
And so he can steal, kill, and destroy. And he does it on a daily basis with the least suspecting.
Yes, sir.
It's the guy like me who took my first hit and thought that I was just in another world, another place. And it is also the fact that when you get into that life, you do things that are just horrible.
We're going to get into that horrible stuff. We're going to take it to a break. This is the VAdio Show. This is addiction. We're going to try to get you unhooked, but come back after the break.
A message from one of our proud sponsors.
What is the definition of upscale? Moving forward, luxurious, elegant. It's time to become an upscale man, moving forward in the fashion world with service, quality, and a level of detail we as men can trust. Become the upscale man you were meant to be with 2 locations to serve you. Visit Upscale Men's Fashion at www.upscalemensfashions.com.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the VAdio Show, and we have a little more information on you about this addiction thing. Brother Mayo, I got a question.
Okay. I'm sure I have an answer.
Oh, I'm totally sure you have an answer for this one. When was the moment that you knew I'm out there bad? Like I need to do something. Like when did it hit you that I am an addict and I have a problem and I want to do something? Because most times addicts, they want to do something, but
the answer to that question is many times. But if you want to know what the time was that got me to say, I've had enough, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired, it was a day when I was in the shelter after hanging out all night and barely making it into the shelter before cutoff, and I'm laying in my bed and I'm saying to myself how bad I want to go back out. How bad I want to go back. I want to leave the confines of the shelter. And while I was in the shelter, I was even still sneaking in, sneaking rocks in the door. But the moment that I knew that there was no help is the moment I sit out, before I went into the shelter, I was sitting in the field. It was about 7 or 8 degrees. I had a blanket, and I'm sitting under the blanket trying to smoke crack in the middle of a field. And I almost burned myself up because the blanket caught on fire.
Oh my God.
And then when I ran out of crack, all I could do was just get up and walk around in the cold. And that's the moment I knew I was done. I was a crackhead. And then through some of the other things that I did to my family, to friends, that told me, you're a crackhead.
Right.
You know, you've just become the thing you wish you never become.
Yeah.
And you have no control.
Yeah.
You know, no control. You know, for guys, it's a little different because we don't do some of the things that women do.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I ain't never been to that point.
Right.
But, you know,
Good
it
to
was
know.
like,
Good
I ain't never sold no booty or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But,
Good
you know,
job.
I'd beat people.
Yeah.
I'd catch a dope dealer and be like, yo, man, you know, if I'm good for this, so let me get a little more, and I'll pay you on Friday. But I was functioning until the day I lost my job. When I lost my job and the income dried up. And once the income dried up, I had no way. But people would still give me what I wanted because they didn't know I lost my job.
Right.
And I won't
so you
tell
was
them.
getting fronted on.
Yeah. So, you know, and then there was a point in time where I owed money. I lent my car out. I gave my car out.
Wow.
You know, I gave my wife's car out.
Wow.
You know, and stuff like that. And she would be waiting for me to come pick her up, and I'm busy getting out.
And before this, you were doing very well. Very well.
I was doing good. I was like I said, I was in the car business, and I was making really, really good money. Mm-hmm. To this day, I look back and say that I never should have taken that first bump.
No.
I never should have taken that first hit. Mm-hmm. I never should have hung around the people I hung around. Yeah. But in life, these are the things you can say, I wish I never did. Mm-hmm. But for the sake of people else out there.
The testimony.
For the sake of people who are watching this, and you can say it, you can't change it, you have to deal with it, you have to go through it. One of my favorite verses in the Bible is, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'll fear no evil. Mm-hmm. But the key word in that statement is, I walk through. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Doesn't say I get stuck. Mm-hmm. I can be in there for a while, but I walk through. Yeah. And I come out the other side. Yeah. So, you know, I say this to anybody out there who's got a problem or an addiction. Sometimes this may be the thing that you need to go through to get to the other side. Yeah. To get your life in order, to clean yourself up and become the person that God has in store for you. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Today it's been 6 years clean and sober. Awesome, congratulations. 6 years clean and sober. I don't put myself in situations with people. Mm-hmm. I've changed my whole walk of life. Mm-hmm. I've kind of just, and my instruction comes from the Bible. It is my basic tool for living every day. Mm-hmm. I wake up in the morning, I give praise and honor to God for taking me through what He took me through. Because believe it or not, no matter what you might want to believe, His plan is already written out for you. Mm-hmm. He knows what you're going to do before you do it. Mm-hmm. He knows that He's going to have to hold your hand. Mm-hmm. He's going to have to carry you through something. And He knows this already. Mm-hmm. So don't fight it. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with it. But at the same token, He allows you to make choices, but He knows what your choices are. Yeah. You know, that might sound contradictory. And to some people it is contradictory. Mm-hmm. That if He gives you free will, then why does He hold your hand and do this and do that? Because He knows that you're human and you're fallible, and that you're going to make mistakes, you're going to slip and fall. We all have. Mm-hmm. But we all sit here today, you and I both sit here today as remarkable people, teaching other people how to be remarkable people. Yeah, definitely. You know, this particular show, I am so very proud to be here because it gets to let people know what I've been through and where I'm going. I'm headed in a different direction these days. Mm-hmm. Life is good. Life is very good.
You're looking good, man.
I feel good.
Yeah, man. I hope you feel as good as you look.
And I know the camera adds 10 pounds, but they're
these
real.
Are slimming cameras.
These are slimming cameras. Well, I got 10 pounds to add, okay? Because that to me, that is a sign of good life.
No doubt, you eating good, man. You eating good. You don't look like what you've been through.
Hey, I sure don't feel like it either.
Now I got one more for you.
Okay.
These days, I remember around when NWA came out, late 80s, early 90s, rappers started out selling dope, right? That's what happened after BDP. Now the rappers want to sell dope, okay? That happened for a while. Then slowly I started seeing rappers start to do dope. Like they started rapping about popping pills and this, that, and the other, and doing drugs, and this whole new culture. They kind of push that fun is popping a Molly. They got songs about it, man. They got songs about it. So the kids hear this, the youth hear this, and they're starting to feel like this is the norm. This is a part of the culture. What do you say to the youth now who are, because back in your day, back when that happened, this wasn't per se motivated by media.
Right.
This was you was hanging around people who was into that, this, that, and the other. But now you got those people who are into it, and you also turn on the radio and you hear about it too.
My thought on that is, you have to still, for the youth out there today, don't be driven by the music that you listen to, because the music that you listen to is just somebody else's thoughts. It's not, doesn't represent you. And back in the day when we were listening to rap music, they weren't talking about beating your ass, beating your chick, that kind of stuff. But so now they talk about beating your girls, and guess what? The crime rate goes up because guys feel like it's okay to beat your girls. You listen to a certain thing and you become what you listen to. Yeah. You have to learn to disassemble what you listen to from who you are. Right. It's like the baggy pants syndrome. Cats today don't realize that comes from prison. It came from a culture where if you were wearing your pants saggy, that meant you were something other than a man.
Right. You was looking for some.
Right. You're showing your drawers.
Hot stuff.
Right. Yeah. So but that's the truth.
It's real. Yeah.
So even now with when they talk about doing the drugs and stuff, drugs ain't cool. No. They lead to destruction. They lead you to a life far less glamorous than the guys that are singing about it. Yes. Your life is not with, you want to do something, take a love song, be a lover, not a druggie. Right. If you want to follow something, follow the guys that are singing about loving my woman, taking care of her. Don't follow the guys who are talking about doing drugs, because I guarantee you ain't making their money. And more than likely, you ain't doing but putting more money in somebody else's pocket. Right. I put thousands. I put thousands upon thousands of thousands.
You investing in your own death.
At my own death. Yeah. Now I take that same money and I invest in my life.
Yes, sir. It looks like it, brother.
I
need that sweater, man.
I'll get you one.
Okay, all right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take it to a break. This is the VAdio Show. This is Addiction. Don't you go anywhere.
A message from one of our proud sponsors.
Your application looks great. I see down here for race that you've checked other. Can you elaborate on that for me?
Oh, that's easy. I'm the last of the Frohegans.
All right, help me out with this one.
I escaped from Pompeii.
A message from one of our proud sponsors.
We've been talking to you guys about self-inventory, and today we're going to conclude it with self-presentation.
Presentation.
Yes, self-presentation. And with that said, I'm going to let Ms. Tawana take the lead.
Well, we've kind of taken you on a journey where we've talked about getting to know yourself, accepting yourself, motivating yourself, and challenging yourself. And once we've done all these things and put these pieces together, now we want to present ourselves. It's like our introduction to the world. This is where we give ourselves the permission to live life. You know, I tend to use a motto, and people that know me know I say that I live my life authentic, transparent, without apologies, and no regrets. You know, this is where you just give yourself permission to just enjoy life and enjoy that journey, you know?
Yeah, you're right. And you know, although she said it and it flows really, really well, we find that a lot of people struggle with living authentically. And the reason is because they are still, as I told you in the earlier session, they are still dealing with roles that we were taught to play, or roles that we were told that were a part of who we are. And those are not really who you are. And we have to be comfortable with really identifying who we are and stop playing roles. Once you do that, you can move forward in this whole process, because after this, we're going to deal with the mastering your own reinventions. And those are also a necessary part. But you can't master your reinvention until you accept who and embrace who you currently are.
You know, Mary J. Blige has this song that says, "Take me as I am or have nothing at all." It's like, I love that song because it says, you know what, I'm just living my life in front of everybody like I want to live it. And this is me. You know, like this is Tawana. You know, the bling, I love bling bling. I love stuff. Anybody that knows me know I'm going to bedazzle something. I don't care if it's a pair of sneakers, they're going to be bedazzled. So that's who I am. I'm telling you the truth. Yeah. That's who I am. And you're going to take that or you're not. Some people, they think it's gaudy. They think it's too much. Oh, well, take me as I am or have nothing at all. I'm enjoying this life. I'm enjoying this journey. No apologies and no regrets. The authentic, transparent me. So we encourage you to do the same.
Yeah. You know, it's not enough to just be living. Our hope for you is that you learn to be alive. Yeah. You know, and when you say alive, say alive. You really need to know how to be alive. And that way, that really attracts the right energy to you. It attracts the right people to your story, because what you really want to do is distract things that don't matter, and you want to attract the things that really matter. Right. And that matter means that it lines up with your purpose, it lines up with your vision, and it lines up with your intention. And that's valuable.
Yeah,
and a lot of people don't understand that either, but continue.
They really don't. So we're talking to you right here, you right there.
Yeah.
When you look at yourself in the night, at nighttime, and you look in that mirror, get down to that authentic you, where it just doesn't matter all the roles that Lawrence talked about. It really doesn't matter what those roles are anymore. Let's just be authentic. Let's get down to you.
Yeah. Get comfortable in the skin that you're in, and don't just make it a cliche. Make it really about you.
Yeah, because you were born in this skin. And you know, this is only the skin you got. This is the skin you're in. What the saying say? Enjoy the skin you're in.
Yeah, okay? Yeah. Perfect.
All right, so thank you again for joining us with our 5 minutes of focus. Catch us next week, same place.
Yeah, and remember this, life is not about the answers you know, it's more about the questions you ask. So once you embrace your why, you have the fortitude and the resilience to deal with your how. All right, so this is the maximized life. It's business and it's personal, but it's all about you. And it's not enough for us to be here. Our goal is for you to understand that we see you as success. Our hope is that through these sessions, you begin to see yourself as success, because together, what we do, we rise. Right. We rise.
The maximized life.
Let's do business.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the People Show, the VAdio Show. I'm here with my man, Johnny Mayo. I'm gonna close this one out, but I've gotta ask, I always gotta find a solution. We gotta let people hear the testimony. You've been through the test, you have the testimony. Now, I need you to give a little advice, because there are, people think about, of course, us as the ones that if you are an addict, you're putting everybody through it. And that can be the case. But we also have family members who see it and they enable, or they see the signs and things like that, but they kind of turn an eye, So what advice would you have to those family members who may look, see it?
Don't put blinders on. Mm-hmm. When you see it happening, address it and take care of it. Mm-hmm. If I'd have had someone in my family who would have said to me, I know you got a problem, you need to go somewhere and get it fixed, I probably would have did so.
Okay.
But the same thing, people, moms who have sons who are on drugs, oh, I love my baby. I don't know what I'm going to do.
Drive them to the spot.
They drive them to take my sister used to take her son to go buy crack.
Oh my God.
So that way he wouldn't drive or he wouldn't do, and she thought she was helping him.
Keep him safe.
She thought she was keeping him safe. And so what I say to those out there who have family members, sons, daughters doing drugs, get them help. Don't waste time. Get them help today. Don't. So I'll take them tomorrow. No, you take them today. You do the tough love thing. You put them on the spot. You fuss at them. You scream at them. You holler at them. Because sometimes it takes someone that says, I know what you're doing and I want you to get help to sometimes get help.
Yeah.
Wish I'd have had that person in my life.
Yeah.
Okay? So don't ignore the signs and the symptoms. You know it, you see it, but you choose to say, oh, that's just Johnny.
Right.
He's being himself. He's
that
doing
ain't no cologne you smell.
Exactly. That's funk ES. Okay, that's real funk because and then we get so good. We get so good at trying to disguise it and all that kind of stuff. But we know what we're doing.
Yeah.
So don't enable them. Don't enable them. Don't let them talk you into doing stuff because you think you love them. If you love them, show you love them and get them help.
So what would you say to someone who may have it on their mind, got friends who may do it, got it on their mind and, just kind of on the verge, and those people who may dabble or already be full blown?
To those of you who are out there who are thinking about getting high or trying some drug or whatever the case may be, don't do it. You'll put yourself in further harm. And especially you people out there who say, and this is what I used to think was my cure, I go to church. I can't get it. I'm not that kind of person. That's not me. I'm not going to do that thing. That's just not who I am. You're lying to yourself. Because you are just as acceptable to it as anyone else. But the minute you step over that curb, you're bound to get hit by a car. So think about it and think about all the lives that you'll impact, everyone that you'll hurt, everyone that you'll disgust, and how you will turn your life into a living nightmare. And it will happen sooner or later. You may think, oh, just by puffing on a little weed, I'm okay. But that could lead to something else. And also the fact that when you are dabbling, you're dabbling in the devil's playground. And the devil has many tools. He has many ways to seduce you into things. And as long as you become susceptible to being seduced, he will continue to seduce you until he has robbed you, stole you, and eventually killed you. Because that's where it all leads. And fortunate ones who are dabbling, you have an opportunity to step away, run. Run like hell. Okay.
Ain't no shame in it.
Ain't no shame in it. When you get to that point and you're tired and you don't want to do it, and you think you think this is some part of your life that you have to have, it is not. Don't let the devil fool you into thinking this is something that you have to have in your life. Like I was saying, I've been clean for 5 years now, and it is something I do not have to have in my life. I've replaced it with all the things good, harmonious, and courteous in my life that makes my life better today than it was 5 years ago. And God first, pray, ask him to deliver you, ask him to take it away from you, because he will answer your prayers, but you have to be one thing: sincere. You must be sincere in your prayers to be relieved of these things. I quit smoking, and I quit smoking simply because that was another tool that the devil had over me. I quit drinking because that was another tool that the devil had over me. I thought I wasn't going to be able to function if I didn't have a drink. I wasn't an alcoholic, but I thought that having a drink every day was okay. It is not. It is not, because it puts my mind in a state where it does not need to be. So to those out there who are thinking about getting high, if you watch me today, you see this video, you see this show, all I say is, don't do it. Don't.
Yes, yes. Well, brother, I appreciate you being here, man, and thank you for the insight that you gave.
It has really been my pleasure to be able to come back after a year and still be clean, sober, and be able to tell someone else how to stay clean and sober. This is a great format. For those of you who haven't watched the show, I hope you watch it. And for those of you who have watched it, tell someone else to watch it.
Yeah.
Pass on the word. Hit us up on Facebook. If I'm going to plug myself for a quick second.
Do it, man.
I am in the automotive business. I work for Pomoco Nissan over in Hampton. Hit me up on Facebook if you want a little bit more about my story. I'll be glad to share it with you. If you need a little advice about how to help someone else, I'll be glad to share it with you. So I look forward to hearing from you. And I look forward to hearing from you again, too.
You know we're going to talk, man.
Yes.
No question about it. And I'm going to tell y'all one thing and I'm going to go. All y'all dope dealers, everybody out there talking about police killing black men and this person killing black men. You just as bad as them because you a killer too. All right? So get it together. Get it out our neighborhood because we're not having it no more. This is the VAdio Show. This is all about progress. And we'll holler at you next time.
Peace.